I met a god after school. He offered 750 marks, or 75M. Is that even a choice? Waiting is an insult to 75M. With 75 million, who cares about exams? But I chose the score. The day before the exam, I saw a viral post. 75 meters, cash or a perfect score? Another stupid question. I started trolling. Always with the choices. If you have it, give it, he said. Try it then. I just laughed. Easy choice. Degrees are common now. T-Shirt M buys E1 grads. Unless I get a 750, top rank is okay too, he replied instantly. You'll get a perfect score and new solving skills. But tell no one, or the power fails. Sounded like nonsense. If it's true, I choose the score. To be the top scholar, ancestors would be proud. I tossed my phone and went to sleep. The next day, papers were handed out. One look. I felt a shiver. The answers began flooding my mind. To be precise, things I didn't know. With one glance, answers appeared instantly. I held my breath. My messy handwriting became like calligraphy. I was stunned. Perfect style points, even with right answers. Style usually loses points. I finished and left early. Outside the hall, to test my script, I took a pen. I am handsome. The script was flawless. With this skill alone, I'm a master artist, I was overjoyed. Just one subject did this. 75 meters is nothing. Math was next. Still godlike. 100 ways to solve each. Some beyond my logic. Not from this earth. Math exam ended. Everyone was wailing. That last question? I just checked. It's advanced math. The board is cruel. Through the rest, I dominated. Gaining world-class skills, I walked out first. Others were confused. A blank paper. I ignored the rumors, leaving them in awe. 2 days later, teachers were grading. Working at high speed, Director Chen patrolled. No mistakes allowed. One error changes a child's life. Soon after, a teacher jumped up. Quiet, Chen barked. Keep it down. Shia was shocked. Director Chen, look at this. A perfect essay. Everyone was stunned. Complete shock. We just started. A perfect score already. Chen studied the screen. One glance. What beautiful script. Even if it were trash. ID. Give it 20 points. He read the content. He got goosebumps. In 1,000 words, he told China's history. Report this. Immediately. Our first perfect essay is here. Math grading began. There's a problem. Answers are right, but logic is unknown. It happened again. Scores were released, a perfect 750, ranked 1 nationally. A huge sensation. God is blind. A slacker like him. A hidden genius. More shocked than them were the professors. They didn't understand. How did I solve them? Never seen before. The elite called, racing against others, to recruit me first. My parents were shocked. See the news? Lu Chuan got 750, same name as our son. I heard them. I walked out. Maybe that Lu Chuan is me. I showed my phone. 750 marks blinded them. Dad froze. Then he ran out, checking the ancestors. I calmed them down. Am not going to college. I'll challenge the board. Make the exams harder. I'll be back next year. For others, the Gaokao is just for a college admission letter. But for me, it's a chance for self-improvement. By taking the exam once, I gained the scientific knowledge linked to the test questions. Becoming a top mathematician or physicist, I vaguely recall some shameless nations using various blockades. To curb our rise, if I could turn those blocked technologies into current Gaokao questions, wouldn't every problem be solved instantly? Of course, I can't tell anyone this. After I promised to go to college the following year, my parents finally agreed to my plan. The next day, crowds of reporters swarmed in, trying to investigate everything about me. Arriving with them were leaders from top national universities. They started bickering before it even began, fighting over the source of the news. As our family of 3 was about to step out, we were stunned by the sea of people at the door. The university heads rushed forward, crowding around my parents, offering unimaginable terms. Some offered full tuition waivers, plus residency and housing subsidies. Others offered a monthly stipend of 30,000. They weren't afraid to break the bank. They promised me an independent lab and 300,000 in annual research funding. And regardless of whether I joined their college, this money would always be available. Once this was said, the representatives from Ju and Xinjiang were furious. Playing dirty, you old man. Our money is only given after they choose us. And you just said that regardless of the choice, the money is guaranteed. However, my next words left everyone in shock. Teachers, I've decided to retake the exam for another year. Everyone's mind went blank. What on earth was going on? The reporters smelled a massive scoop and surged forward. Lu Chuan, as a top-scoring student, why give up on college? My eyes lit up. This is exactly what I was waiting for, because the exam papers this year were too easy. I scored perfectly without even using half my ability. The interview aired. The whole nation was buzzing, especially the students preparing for the next year's exam. They scolded me straight to the top of the trending list. Is this guy crazy? Can you at least act like a human being? The exam board experts were outraged. This is just too arrogant. Do they really think we're that incompetent? After the interview, local agencies gave me bonuses totaling $1.5 million. After the news aired, public opinion exploded again. Netizens finally understood why I wasn't going to college. With my grades, couldn't I easily haul in another million next year? But I ignored the trolls online, because I had a date with the campus belle, Yinwen. We had feelings for each other back at school, but she held back for the sake of the Gaokao. Now that I was a top scorer, we officially became a couple. Soon, a year passed by. The day arrived in the second year. On the day of the exam, as soon as I arrived at the venue, countless reporters wanted to interview me. Lu Chuan, how much do you expect to score this time? I shook my head and smiled. You'll barely manage a perfect score. The reporter was delighted. He had already thought of the headline. Genius scores high. Vows a second perfect score in retake. A second reporter quickly chimed in. You provoked the exam board last year, making the experts very angry. This year's paper is harder than last year's, causing many students to complain. May I ask, is there a misunderstanding? It's no misunderstanding. I'm not targeting the exam board. I'm just saying that everyone here is trash. The reporters were stunned. This kid was truly boundlessly arrogant. Noticing the beautiful girl standing by my side, a reporter blurted out, Lu Chuan. Who is this beautiful lady next to you? I didn't hide it. I took Yin Wenwen's hand and openly declared she is my girlfriend. Sure enough, the reporter thought gossip was news too and snapped a flurry of photos. With just one photo like this, the click-through rate would skyrocket. Soon, the exam began as scheduled. My intuition was perfectly validated. As soon as I saw the questions, the answers surfaced automatically, and I didn't have to worry about mistakes. This time, I even switched to a different calligraphic style, a style profound enough to start its own school. The two proctors kept glancing at me. Seeing me writing at lightning speed, without a single pause, they grew curious. They stood up and began to patrol the room. When they looked at my paper, they were completely spellbound, frozen in place. A young man, just 19, possessed such incredible calligraphy. Is this what a true genius is? When he saw my essay topic, he realized the exam board's trump card. They asked students to continue Dream of the Red Chamber, with at least 600 words. The proctor was a fan of the novel. Knowing how difficult that was, countless people had tried and failed to match the original, missing its true essence. Seeing me start writing without a second thought, his expression changed repeatedly. Once I had filled the entire sheet, his heart felt like it was being scratched by a cat, intensely restless. The other students rolled their eyes when I handed in my paper early again. Not again, can't you stop acting? Does it hurt not to? A few days later, the exam ended, and the grading team began their work. The teachers all agreed that they couldn't grade my essay. They had to report it to the expert review group. Literary giant Zhang Menglin saw my paper, and his eyes widened. Where is the rest? It's clearly unfinished. Who stops right here? He looked ready to devour someone. As a diehard Red Chamber fan, the sequel is finally within reach. But the exam paper only had so much space. Grading head Chen Qiu tried to calm him. This isn't a literary seminar. Then he asked Zhang Menglin cautiously, what score should we give? Zhang Menglin slumped down. Exhausted on the sofa? Full marks, he said. Grading finished a few days later. The exam results were out. I was the national top scorer again. Haters online claimed it was rigged. Investigate a Red Chamber sequel. Full marks is impossible for that essay. No one could ever get full marks. They demanded to see my essay. Seeing the outcry, the Ministry of Education released it. The article was quickly shared on every platform. Netizens were stunned. Could a 19-year-old really write this? Countless fans begged for a sequel. They had waited too long for this. Public opinion flipped instantly. Fans started clashing with the haters. Then calligraphy experts spoke up. This style is in a class of its own. Had be a master in ancient times. The climax came when Zhang Menglin of the society brought reporters to my door, hoping I deserialize the book. Name your price. Because as of now, besides me, no one can truly finish it. Seeing the elders so distressed, I reluctantly agreed, taking the pen and paper in front of everyone. Starting from chapter 81, I wrote straight to the end. Zhang held it like a rare treasure. Sitting on the sofa, please, let us publish it. Whatever conditions you have, the society will meet them. I calmly shook my head. Books are meant to be read. Just follow the normal process. But I need a small favor. Zhang was in high spirits. Go ahead, tell me. Whatever I can do, I won't refuse. To her surprise, I asked her to tell the exam board to make next year's exam much harder. Zhang Menglin stared at me. She hesitated to speak. How difficult do you want it? Why challenge the god? He complained inwardly, but didn't dare say it. He could only say he'd try. Then both sides agreed. 2. Buy the sequel for 50 million? Meanwhile, the video of my request went viral across the web. Everyone started attacking me. Agencies responded immediately, criticizing me for being arrogant. He doesn't know knowledge is vast. To their surprise, the book was released 3 days later. It sold out instantly, like a slap to the face. It shut the haters up. Tycoon Yin Tian was moved to tears by the book. Lu Chuan, this boy, writes so well at his age? He told his secretary to look me up. A clip was sent shortly after. When he saw his daughter, Wenwen, his eyes twitched. His mouth hung wide open. The secretary thought he'd explode, and backed away. But Yin Tianchi said, this kid, even at this stage, he hasn't visited his father-in-law. He told the secretary to set a meeting with his daughter. Soon after, Wenwen and her father met for dinner at a luxury hotel. Is Lu Chuan your boyfriend? Knowing her father's nature, Wenwen rushed to explain how excellent he was and how hard he worked. He cut her off. Effort? You should definitely work hard to be worthy of my call him husband from now on. Wenwen was stunned. What is going on? He poured her some water. It's not that complicated, he said. Yes, I approve of him. But there's one condition. What condition? Wenwen was skeptical and extra cautious. Yin Tianchi was speechless. Daughters always grow away. Taking his side already? I approve of him. But he won my daughter over. Shouldn't he give me a greeting gift? What do you want? Nothing much. He coughed. Didn't he finish the Red Chamber? Can I have his original manuscript? Wenwen sensed something was off. She knew her father's ways. I have a use for it. Just tell me if it's a yes or no. Yin Tianchi said stubbornly. Wenwen said she couldn't decide. I have to ask him. Then go ask. He agreed readily. As she turned to leave, he hurriedly added, be nice when you ask. Don't upset my Ruchu felt like she wasn't his own. Back home, she told me about it. I smiled and shook my head. Didn't think he'd find out? As for the manuscript, I already gave it to you. Since it's yours now, you can decide what to do with it. I don't mind at all. I pulled her into my arms, gave her a kiss, and continued, you don't need to be like this. We are equals. Aren't we? We are. But I still wanted your consent. She breathed a sigh of relief. Returning the kiss? I'm so glad you agreed. Now nothing stands in our way. Then we went to see him. It was fine at first. Then he coughed suddenly. By the way, when are you getting married? Theft? She sprayed tea all over him. Dad, and busy. I knew he approved of me, but didn't know it was this absolute. Uncle, we're only 19, right? My bad. He slapped his forehead. Not of age yet. But can we hold the banquet first? When can we meet your parents? To pick a date and get it done, Rutu got anxious. Who's this eager to marry her off? Even if I'm more than willing, you can't just say that. He waved her off, telling her to stay calm. I know it's not ideal, but we must secure a guy like this. What if someone else takes him? What then? I didn't know how to respond. I tried to soothe him, then made an excuse to escape. Shortly after, the exam scores were released. I got full marks again. Top schools reached out to me, but I turned them all down, claiming the exam was too easy. I hope next time, the experts make it harder. I wanted to use these exams to help break tech blockades, but I couldn't say that aloud, or my ability would vanish. Netizens thought I was arrogant. Some even blocked my door. If it were really me, but my vision was far greater. I used the 50 million from the book to buy a villa, staying away from the world, until heavy news broke. Flight YH739 has gone missing. 261 Temps country passengers are gone. If the exam board made it harder, I could get new skills. Finding the plane's wreckage shouldn't be too hard. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Education issued several instructions. Exams must keep up with the times and follow current events. Second, no limit on answer sheets. Candidates can add as many as needed, ensuring no unfinished essays, like the Red Chamber issue. Soon, the 2013 exam began. I felt the intense glares from the students next to me, because I alone had raised the difficulty level. But the angrier they got, the happier I was. Maybe in a few decades, some of them might even set the exam questions, while I'd still be taking it. As the students entered, the proctors arrived. Once papers were handed out, both students and proctors looked at me with anxiety. I ignored them and started the exam. The initial questions were easy, but the essay was disappointing. Optimizing postpartum care for SOs. Not an easy topic, but not challenging enough. I hoped for more from the math paper, but was disappointed again. It was only slightly harder. Luckily, on the second day, I found a hard physics problem. Assuming MH739 has crashed, calculate the crash site. It was a 1-point bonus question. Every student who saw it felt their scalp tingle. Only I chuckled. The time to serve the country is here. The information flooding my mind. It was absolutely massive. It even included 20,000-meter diving depth and nuclear sub-technology. I trembled with excitement. Just for this one question, I got so much technology. What a bargain. A flash of inspiration hit me. Is this the key to finding the plane? But there are no real results yet. After the exam, everyone debated the crash site. Opinions varied wildly. There was no standard answer. Half a month later, the scores were out. I got 749 points. I wrote the correct answer, but didn't get full marks. No matter, I'll verify it myself. That one missing point. Online, everyone mocked me. Reporter Wang Bingbing came to my house for a live stream. His professional standards are impeccable. His voice is also incredibly sweet. Not even half a minute into the stream, the viewership soared past 1 million. The first question he asked me was, "How did you perform in the exam this year?" I answered calmly, "Full marks, a walk in the park. Stable performance, full marks, a god-tier score." But the chat was flooded with curses. "If you're so damn good, why didn't you get full marks?" I looked at the netizens' comments and retorted to the viewer who asked that, "Who told you I didn't get full marks?" Wang Bingbing and the entire audience were stunned. Who told me? Why would I need anyone to tell me? The officials already announced it. The national high score is 749. Could it possibly be higher? I replied. The grading panel made a mistake. I provided the correct answer, but they never bothered to verify it. If I locate the crash site, it will prove my answer was correct. This statement of mine blew up the entire internet. The test setting group was holding a celebration banquet, and one of them happened to be watching the stream. Seeing this, the room went into an uproar. He actually dared to say that. Is this Lu Chuan reincarnated, or what? How can he be so full of himself? At this moment, I stared directly into the lens and said calmly, "The missing plane is in the deepest part of the Challenger Deep." Wang Bingbing was stunned, but quickly collected herself. "You mean that deepest trench in the world?" He just said, "Head, verify it himself." Can he really dive 20,000 meters down? After the interview, the whole internet mocked me for being delusional. But what they didn't know was, while I can't build a submarine myself, my father-in-law Yin Tianqi is no pushover. On the third day, Yin Wenwen and I flew to Shenzhen. Many large shipyards are located there. Upon hearing I wanted to start a company for RD, he gifted me an entire building to use as a laboratory, so I announced to all my employees, the company's first project is a new type of submersible. We're going to get that plane out of the trench. When the news broke, the internet exploded. Some even attacked me for using the crash for clout. But netizens quickly discovered my company already held hundreds of patents. Even leading foreign enterprises were stunned by these technologies. Finally, 3 months after Future Tech was founded, the submersible was successfully assembled. It was time for water testing. Since it can go deep underwater, as if there were no obstacles. Let's call it the Gong Gong. As the engine started, the descent speed quickly reached 78 knots. The testers exclaimed, "Is this a dive? Why does it feel like driving on a highway?" They're acting as if drag doesn't exist. Just then, the submersible sent back a warning. Submarine detected lurking in the sector. I immediately ordered a scan of the sub's data. Meanwhile, 3 destroyers were patrolling nearby. They suddenly received a signal from the deep. Who's scanning us? We've been locked onto. Where are they? Find them immediately. They used every sonar and radar they had, but found nothing. Suddenly, the communications officer reported, "Commander, we've received a communication request from the target." Captain Su Hong breathed a sigh of relief. It shouldn't be an enemy sub, or they wouldn't have reached out. Immediately, we reported our accidental discovery to Captain Su. A foreign sub is lurking in our waters. After getting the precise coordinates, Captain Su ordered the trap to be sprung. Inside the British sub, Commander Ace laughed. Tang's radar tech is too backward. They can't even detect us moving. Suddenly, 3 red dots appeared on the radar. Ace froze. His face paling. We're surrounded. How did their primitive equipment find us? Before they could flee, they found themselves locked in an anti-submarine net. I left the rest to the military. The test lasted for 3 full days, and the Gong Gong's performance was flawless. Future Tech announced the dive to the Challenger Deep to search for the crash wreckage. With a full live stream, the internet went into a frenzy. Once the official stream opened, netizens flooded in. In less than 11 minutes, viewership passed 5 million. As the hatch closed and we sank, the Gong Gong dived at incredible speed. Once past 8,000 meters, the surrounding life became extremely rare. More heavy hitters emerged. Even the Thames Aerospace Group expressed a desire to partner with me. Suddenly, a giant shadow appeared on the feed, tracking the Gong Gong at a steady speed. When we turned the sub around, everyone finally saw what it was. A shark nearly 20 meters long, its mouth full of fangs. Terrifying beyond words. I ignored the panic in the chat, smiled and pressed a red button. A purple beam emitted from the bottom of the sub, and the megalodon dissolved into mist in the water. The British naval brass watching were stunned. The electromagnetic cannon is that powerful. Send 3 carriers immediately. Salvage that submersible for us, not just the British. Thames Naval Commander Su Hong also received orders. Deploy all naval forces at full speed. Do not let it fall into British hands. But deep underwater, I was unaware of all this. Continuing toward the bottom of the trench. Soon, the monitor showed plane wreckage. Netizens gasped. The missing plane really crashed here. Just as the internet celebrated, an internal communication flashed, the Thames Navy reported. Currently, the trench is swarming with foreign warships. Submarines are plotting against the Gong Gong. Our Navy is in a standoff with them. We will do everything in our power to ensure your safety. The moment this was heard, the audience in the stream turned pale. What are they trying to do? Meanwhile, the foreign fleets on the surface began to accelerate. Su Hong was furious, yet deeply shocked. We cannot fire the first shot. The consequences would be severe, he ordered. Apart from firing, Force them back at all costs. Inside the gong, my heart was full of rage. A thought grew. Give me 3 years. The Thames fleet will dominate the seas. At the same time, I felt grief and pain. If a clash really happened and our soldiers were harmed, they would pay in blood for this. On the surface, war was imminent. Anti-missile systems roared, frantically intercepting incoming missiles. But the gap was too wide. Su Hong's ships couldn't hold out for 3 minutes. In a naval command room, an elder roared, "Prepare the Dongfeng missiles. If they don't stop in 10 seconds, we will retaliate with everything we have." Simultaneously, alarms blared across every foreign warship. Commanders screamed, "Ceasefire, retreat. We've been locked on by the Dongfeng." Because of this incident, the Sub-1 developed attracted industry titans. They placed 30 billion in orders for partnerships. With money comes the need to show off. One high-profile announced a 3x pay raise for all staff, plus weekends off. They'll fire anyone who works overtime. Cleaner Auntie Chen, seeing she could make 20K a month, immediately called her daughter to apply to scrub toilets. Then an expert emerged. Such high wages hinder the ambition of the youth. Seeing this, I publicly declared future tech isn't short of cash. Talents are welcome to join us. This move caused a total reversal in public opinion. Those who cursed me turned into fans. "Lu Chuan, you are my god." The exam board should return those marks to him. The Langzulant exam board was back in the spotlight. Group leader Wu Jianjin once swore that no one could get full marks until I went underwater and proved him wrong. He was hit hard by the reality of his error. Wu Jianjin felt a nameless fire rise inside. I don't believe it. Next year's exams, he'll include the unsolved math conjectures. Let's see him solve that. Meanwhile, I was hosting General Wu Kui. He hoped future tech would partner with the military to develop a carrier group superior to Britain's. If I agreed, the terms were blank checks. I could even be named a colonel in the military. Hearing their proposal, I broke out in a cold sweat. They really overestimated me. The problem was I really couldn't build a carrier. Thinking quickly, I proposed to conditions. "Elder Wu, you know I take the Gaokao every year. For next year's exam, I need the military to step in. Put some career-related questions on the paper. I'll answer them." Elder Wu was speechless. What kind of absurd request is this? Our research labs get billions in funding. Can't they beat a test question? I admitted I was taking a gamble, but it was too good an opportunity to waste. Luckily, he eventually agreed to my demand. They would include a question next year. I struck while the iron was hot and proposed my second condition. If we successfully solve the carrier issue, I hope you can help me get a weapons manufacturing license. After further discussion, the military representatives left. A future tech assistant asked the elder, "Why agree to Lu Chuan?" Elder Wu looked mysterious and said, "The exams were reformed, right? If the military sets a question, the Ministry of Education will give us face. If Lu Chuan can get our Navy out of this jam, forget one license. ID, give him 30. I watched the elder leave, praying the next exam would be tougher. Like if Thanos attacks, how does Earth fight back? Wouldn't that just solve everything in one go? Time to conquer the galaxy. Later, the military found Wuji. They stated their intent. We want a 1-point bonus question. On the physics exam, when Wu saw the question the military provided, he cursed internally. Are they insane? If anyone could answer this, it would benefit all of humanity. But this is for high school students. The military replied. The higher-ups approved it. This is a mission, not a suggestion. Wu could only helplessly agree. Soon, my 4th exam began. This time, I would cement my legend. Upon arriving at the exam site, journalists were blocking the way. The internet was filled with betting pools on whether I'd get full marks again. When the exam started, Chinese, math, and English were all standard. Students laughed. Looks like no tricks this year. But once they got the comprehensive paper, the last biology question was about cancer. How exactly should it be treated? Their minds went blank. Countless experts failed for years. Now you're asking high schoolers? What right do we have to answer this? Luckily, it was only 1 point. Forget it. On my paper, I wrote 3 words. I can cure. Then I attached the general treatment theory. The question didn't specify a type, so I couldn't write a prescription. After the afternoon physics paper was handed out, students started cursing on the spot. Take a look at these questions. Let's outline the research path for infinite energy. Just then, a sharp pain shot through my brain. Technology for controllable nuclear fusion suddenly surfaced. This is defying the heavens. These 2 technologies mean the era of infinite energy for temps is dawning. By then, Tang's enemy won't be just Britain, but the I raised my hand to signal the proctor. Asking for more answer sheets, the teacher asked naturally how many. 200, I replied, my voice echoing in the classroom. Everyone stared at me in disbelief. Lu Chuan, are you trying to build a nuke? Time to show them what I've got. The proctor witnessed a scene he'd never forget. A pen in my right hand, one in my mouth. Working on 3 sheets simultaneously, my writing speed was like a blur. This time, I didn't hand in my paper early. I stayed until the final bell rang. As I turned in over 200 sheets, one thought filled the candidates' minds. Is this guy even human? The 2 proctors were equally horrified. Before, on my physics sheet, it was all about nuclear fusion research. Suddenly, the exam hall doors burst open. Fully armed soldiers stormed in. The leader was a mild-mannered officer. He declared my answer sheets state secrets. Higher-ups had authorized the military to take over. Wu Kui, at military headquarters, gestured. He deployed a special brigade to surround the building. After the sheets arrived, without his orders, anyone leaving the building would be shot on sight. When researchers scrutinized the sheets, they went wild with excitement. My God, this is controllable nuclear fusion. If verified, we'll be centuries ahead of Britain. But how did this end up on an exam paper? Is this how tough the Gaokao is now? Later that day, I decided to start a nuclear energy enterprise. Wu Kui came by, having heard the news. He brought a defense license on behalf of the military. He declared, the military is investing in this project. With top giants collaborating, a $1 trillion energy enterprise was born. According to Wu Kui's vision, once fusion is solved, they'd jump straight to the next level. Building an aerospace carrier? Li Changshuan muttered a few things, questioning the authenticity, but nobody paid him any mind. The experts were completely crazed. Laymen watched the spectacle. The pros understand the depth. Though they'd seen less than 1 funtaram of the data, they could be certain this wasn't just scribbling. There was a clear, logical basis for everything. In other words, based on what they knew, this was real. Nuclear fusion? This is damn controllable nuclear fusion. As researchers who've spent their lives in this field, barely mastering fission, to suddenly see fusion tech, how could they not go insane? Quick, verify it. Where's my pen? Where's my paper? Wait, what's this? Chapter 77. You come. Real controllable nuclear fusion. Protect all this information at all costs. Supercomputer. I need access to the supercomputer. I think we're understaffed. Hey you, Lao Wu, Lao Li, get more people here. With just us few, it's not enough. Bring in every expert from the nuclear field. Across the nation, I'm not sleeping from now on. Damn, Lao Zhang, you're over 70. Do you want to die? Let me handle this. Someone, hey you, get my stuff here. From today on, I'm eating and sleeping in this lab. Wu Kui, Li Changying, Zhou Haiyang, and Luo Wenside. Usually you guys are so polite and refined, so that was all an act. Is this your true nature? Well, we've all become someone. Wu Kui smirked, looking at Luo when blinked. What are you looking at? Wu Kui joked. Get to work. At that moment, he felt an intense thrill. He didn't understand the tech, but these experts did. If they were this excited, what did that mean? Isn't it obvious enough? The conference room turned into a frenzy. Every answer sheet was a treasure, except for the first one, since it was just routine questions. Nobody cared. It was tossed aside. Once they were certain the others were 90 femtoram likely to be real fusion data, they all went wild, pushing and shoving to get a look. Zhang Xuanzi, the chief expert, was too old and frail and couldn't squeeze in. He barely made it halfway, only to be pushed out. Furious, he nearly yelled, "You bunch of bastards. Usually you respect me so much, and now you're throwing me under the bus? Move aside. Let me in. I need to see." But everyone was crazed. Nobody paid him any heed. He stomped his feet in anger, his white beard trembling, but he was helpless. That was when he saw that first ignored answer sheet. He picked it up to take a look. The first page was nothing. The second, neither. Suddenly, Zhang Xunzhe gasped. What on earth? Treating cancer. What? Everyone stopped. Wu Kui was stunned. Treating cancer? What does that mean? It's written right here on the paper. Zhang Xuanzi stepped over and handed it to Wu Kui. Look at this. Wu Kui was completely bewildered. Good heavens. The exam board is playing tricks. How to cure cancer. They dared to put this as a question. Li Chang'an criticized the others, but he wasn't any better off. How is this answer? After a brief shock, Wu Kui looked at Zhang Xuanzi. The latter frowned slightly. My expertise is in nuclear physics. I don't know much about biochemistry, and medical fields am clueless. But I can tell you, with current medical standards, curing cancer is nearly impossible. Especially in the mid to late stages, aside from a few specific types, it's usually fatal. Even if it were possible, it wouldn't be this simple, right? TCM, yin-yang, 5 elements. This sounds too mystical. It's unscientific. There's no such claim. He was shocked that such a question existed. Not that the answer was any good. Wait, why? Did this material end up on a Gaokao paper? Because this is this year's exam paper? Wu Kui replied. Zhang Xunzi was stunned. This year's exam. Is the Gaokao this intense now? It's not just intense. It's goddamn wild. A bit wild. Yes. Wu Kui's lip twitched. Since when did the Gaokao get so wild? Ever since Lu Chuan came on the scene, I suppose. The second year was fine. Just finishing Dream of the Red Chamber. But since last year, things haven't been normal. This year is even more absurd. Physics. Curing cancer. As one of the originators, even he found it absurd. But Lu Chuan specifically asked for this, Wu Kui said with a bitter smile. Zhang Xuanzi didn't say much more. After the brief shock, he finally squeezed into the crowd, joining the others to study, argue, and verify the fusion technology. Wu Kui frowned slightly, mulling over the answer sheet on cancer treatment, saying nothing for a long time. Finally, he told Luo Wen, "Go, bring Master Pu here." Master Pu Luo Wen was slightly surprised. Master Pu, full name Pu Shizhen, is a legendary TCM master. After retiring a few years ago, he stopped seeing patients, invited here only for leadership healthcare. Whenever someone had a headache or needed a tune-up, he was the one in charge. Since he arrived, the leader's health had clearly improved, so everyone respected him immensely and trusted his medical skill. I'm just afraid the experts will get too excited and have a heart attack or stroke. Wu Kui jumped. You're right. Call to emergency medical teams as well. Luo Wen sighed. Ilgo. Did I guess right or wrong? About an hour later, Master Pu arrived. Wu Kui pulled him aside, away from the noisy experts, and showed him the contents of the sheet. Then he said, Master Pu, what do you think of this, students? Answer. Master Pu didn't respond immediately, quietly observing the page. Only after reading it through, did he let out a soft sigh? A very good answer, at least for now. It's the method with the highest success rate, but the difficulty is too high. High difficulty, Wu Kui was surprised. He definitely trusted Master Pu's judgment. But what did too high mean? Yes, high difficulty. Theoretically, this answer is flawless. But the problem is, to possess such medical skill and to be such pure TCM is too hard to find, too hard to achieve. Then how many TCM practitioners in the country can do this? Master Pu sighed. 10 years ago, maybe 20 of us. 30 years ago, over 100. But now, as far as I know, counting myself, there aren't even 5 left nationwide. Wu Kui was stunned. So few. But in recent years, haven't we been promoting TCM? TCM colleges are everywhere. It's just a drop in the bucket. And the route is wrong. Master Pu shook his head. Since you want to know, I'll be blunt. In TCM colleges, the ones who truly learn the craft, hardly 1 in 10,000. It's not that they can't learn, but TCM demands too much in terms of talent and individual potential. One must grow through constant practice, but the opportunities for practice are pitifully few. Forget undergraduates, even with masters or PhD. How many dare to say their skills are truly great? Therefore, the best way to inherit TCM is still the apprentice system. For example, a master teaching an apprentice, starting by copying prescriptions, but it's not just copying. The master diagnoses and takes the pulse. The apprentice watches and listens, then lets him take the pulse to see for himself. Then the master writes the script. The apprentice copies. After copying, he takes the pulse again to verify and consolidate. During this process, study various medical texts, learn pharmacology, learn acupuncture. This process often takes decades. Even for the gifted, it takes 10 to 20 years to achieve any real mastery. But in today's world, under current conditions, who can commit to such long study? People need to eat. They need to support families. Even if money isn't an issue, studying TCM is incredibly tedious. Very few can persevere. Besides that, there are 2 other major issues. Wu Kui was shocked. Before this, he had no idea TCM was so hard. Not only is the study difficult, there are even external problems. Yes, 2 major problems. First is the medicinal herbs. Modern herbs, though not necessarily fake, are often of poor quality. Insufficient growth time leads to weak potency, wrong origin. The problems are endless. It ruins the prescription's efficacy. Second is the westernization of TCM. In our practice, we balance health and expel illness. We value the harmony of yin and yang, but it seems too mystical. Many TCM apprentices, even practitioners, don't understand it. They don't even believe it, so they rely on rote memorization. How do they prescribe them? By looking at modern test results, but modern clinical tests and TCM's holistic diagnosis are 2 different things. Holistic treatment has become a small difference in words, but a world of difference in result. In such cases, healing is down to pure luck. If luck is on your side, it might work. If not, symptoms will worsen at best. At worst, it's licensed killing. Like Baihu decoction for fevers, they only know it reduces fever, forgetting that in TCM, fevers have heat and cold types. Without proper diagnosis, giving the wrong medicine is like adding fuel to the fire. It only worsens the condition. Saying this, Mr. Pu shook his head. His heart was full of sorrow. Westernized TCM is everywhere. It blocks the revival of our craft. Modern medicine is a good thing, and testing methods are useful. TCM can use them as a reference, but not as the basis for prescriptions. Too many practitioners forget this. Over the years, far from improving, they even forget how to diagnose. How can they treat anyone, let alone treating or stabilizing cancer? To keep it from worsening, I've studied since I was 6. Never without a medical book. It's been over 70 years, and I still can't guarantee a cure. I can only say there's a chance. Wu Kui understood now. He frowned deeply. Is there a way to change this? He was a soldier. This shouldn't be his concern. But he really wanted to intervene. This is the 5 animals. Frolic. Morning. In the villa courtyard, Ying Ruchu practiced with Lu Chuan. After a few minutes, she felt extremely sore. She was surprised. I'm in good shape. The movements don't look intense. Why am I so tired? Yes. This strengthens the body. It's good for our health. Lu Chuan smiled at the memory. Practice every day, and you'll get used to it. Let's go to the office. We have big things to do today. Time to start the new project. The 2 math problems from the exam are still trending online. Netizens are debating fiercely. Even international users have joined the discussion, but Lu Chuan stayed silent. He didn't bother to respond. 1 hour later, the company, Lu Chuan, Ying, and Zheng meet. Mr. Lu, should I call Li Cheng? No. Lu Chuan waved his hand. Let them focus on the shipyard. They aren't needed here yet. Well, call them when necessary. You're here to help start the project. Understood, Mr. Lu? Secretary Zhang sat up straight. Hands ready on the keyboard. No need to record, especially not on the computer. Lu Chuan was serious. The upcoming project can lead the world forward, leaping across an entire era. This technology, even the smallest detail, must not be leaked. Otherwise, it'll cause huge trouble. Lu Chuan knew he was being watched. They might not know his next move, but anything related to Gongong 1, they want to get their hands on. If he isn't careful and puts data on a computer connected to the internet, they might just snatch it. Even if they did, they couldn't replicate it soon. But why give them the chance? Those guys are no good, especially those overseas. They are not our kin, so they cannot be trusted. Hearing Lu Chuan say this, Secretary Zhang grew tense. Prepare a top-tier biophysics and chemistry lab for me. The highest specs only. Money is no object. If you're unsure of the equipment, consult the relevant experts. I'll pay the consulting fees. Next, find material suppliers. I'll send you a list later. If the suppliers are foreign, once the price is set, we must move fast. Import as much as possible fast. We might only get one shot. Secretary Zhang's face fell. Wait a moment. Lu Chuan suddenly had a thought. Those guys might not sell the future tech. Without demanding conditions, it's almost a certainty. After all, previously, I offended those high-tech giants. If we try to import now, they'll surely make it difficult. And try to scam future tech. In theory, should we find more partners? For the imports, Ying suggested, let the partners import. In their own names, that should work, right? Yes, that's feasible. Lu Chuan nodded. Partners are definitely needed. The Gongong projects required heavyweights. To handle the trouble, what I'm doing this time is nuclear fusion and its tech. We can't protect it alone. Even with Yingshan and Wafu, it's still not enough. We must get the state on board. Let's put this aside for now. Let them handle it later. For domestic materials, proceed with normal procurement. Lu Chuan looked at Ying Ruchu. Contact Uncle Ying for me. Ask if Hei's interested. Ask Uncle E as well. As for the project, don't reveal the details yet. Just ask if they're in. They only get investment rights. No say in management. As for the shares, Lu Chuan thought for a bit. 100 billion for a 10 Fontarum stake? It's a bargain. Once this project takes off, it'll be worth trillions. But since we have nothing now, and it's just my word, $1 trillion valuation is about right. Any more, and my father-in-law will snap. Besides, no one values a startup at its peak potential immediately. Plus, they aren't just providing money. They'll help. Besides, I'm short on cash. Though future tech is booming, it depends on the project. It's enough for other things. But for true high-tech, 20 billion is just a drop. Even in the chip industry, 20 billion or even 100 billion might not be enough. Luckily, I have the tech, so I don't need to RD from scratch. Otherwise, fusion from zero would cost millions of billions, not just 100 billion. Some tech isn't just about money, it's an ratifying shift. 100 billion for 10 Fontarum. Secretary Zhang was stunned. What kind of project is valued at $1 trillion so early? If it were anyone else, I'd think they were a fraud, just boasting for money. But this was Lu Chuan. He was simply shocked. Then, Secretary Zhang, go to the departments personally. Apply for the new project licenses. Understood? President Lu? What category are we applying for? Energy? Lu Chuan narrowed his eyes. Nuclear power, nuclear fusion. Call it future energy. It will be future techs. Second subsidiary? Why not? Future nuclear? Because what I know isn't just nuclear energy. There's even more advanced tech. Though with current science, it's not yet possible. But in time, who knows? Nuclear. Zhang gasped, shaking with excitement. Goosebumps covered her skin, her chest heaving rapidly. A second later, she realized something and asked, President Lu, was your Gaokao score perfect? Nuclear fusion. No wonder the trillion valuation. For this kind of technology, if it's real, trillions are nothing. Lu Chuan smiled. I guess Zhang was stunned. She nearly forgot to breathe. But then, another thought hit her. A perfect score. Then that bonus question. Heavens, her mind went blank. Despite her experience, she couldn't stay calm. A moment later, she left. But Lu Chuan's sharp eyes found him. He left wet stains where he sat, including the seat, the backrest, and even the desk. It wasn't from fear or anything, but from sweating with excitement. His clothes were soaked through. I'll go contact Dad. Ying Ruchu gave Lu Chuan a kiss, then left the office beaming. She was just as stunned, even though he had told her before. Seeing him so commanding just now, his confidence still captivated her. She was mesmerized. and thrilled, it was almost too much. She couldn't stay any longer. Luchuan stretched his arms. He tried calling Luo but the phone was turned off. Off? That's strange. Then he tried Wu, Li, and Zhou. None of them went through. What's going on? Luchuan was puzzled. We built this tech together. If you hadn't set the task, I couldn't have developed it. So you wouldn't have blacklisted me, right? Or is it an emergency? Luchuan pondered for a moment. The latter seemed more likely, right? Head send Secretary Zhang to the Navy. Contact them offline. At an upscale club, Lao Wang and Yin Tianqi are partying. Since their previous collaboration, the two have grown much closer. They often hang out to unwind lately. Suddenly, Yin Tianqi's phone rings. Hang up the call. Lao Wang suggests. I can't, Yin Tianqi says. It's his daughter calling. How could he hang up? Quiet? It's my daughter calling. Hearing this, Lao Wang is instantly intrigued. He quiets down immediately and pricks up his ears. Good girl. Luchuan's new project. Interested. I'm definitely interested. After just a few words, Yin Tianqi is ecstatic, practically jumping for joy. Lao Wang, who was originally relaxed and just eavesdropping, is struck by the news. He stands up abruptly and waves the masseurs away. He lunges toward Yin Tianqi, pressing right against him. 2 eavesdrop on the phone, 100 billion temps currency. 10 fun, Taram ill contact Lao Wang. Sure, Hei's right here next to me. Wait for my good news. After just these few lines, the call ends. Yin Tianqi shudders. Push old Wang away, you old geezer. Stay away from me. I'm not interested in men. You think I am? Old Wang rolled his eyes. You all heard that? Yin Tianqi didn't want to waste time. Heard it? Good. Saves me the breath. E-bag billion. How much for a 10 fund Taram share? Well, decide amongst ourselves. If funds are short, you can contact other reliable domestic firms with clean records. Just convert by percentage, but they get zero say. Only profit sharing and fulfill relevant duties. So, are you in? Yin Tianqi picked up his pricey tea, took a sip, waiting calmly, and fulfill relevant duties. So, are you in? Yin Tianqi picked up his pricey tea, took a sip, waiting calmly. Hey, are you in? Old Wang chuckled. Eagle, do I look stupid to you? Yin Tianqi raised an eyebrow. Thinking the price was too high, he didn't mind if he refused, just about to say goodbye. When Old Wang added, only an idiot wouldn't invest? Since Wafu Group rose to power, I've made countless investments, but nothing makes money this fast, this easily or this worry-free. In this future media project, I've seen what Luchuan can do. His character is impeccable. If his project asks 1 OOB for 10 fund Taram, hey, even a fool knows it's going to be huge. If I don't invest, I'd have to be brain dead. Yin Tianqi was slightly surprised. You have that much capital? I'll sell all my futures and such. I can pull 2,030 billion in a month. Your Wafu has 70 billion in liquidity. Not really, Old Wang shrugged. But I can sell buildings, sell plazas. I'll sell at a discount if I have to. Raising cash is easy. Selling at a discount? You hold my son-in-law in high regard. Damn it, don't play coy with me. Old Wang cursed. Your son-in-law is great, but don't act so smug about it. I'm telling you, if ID had a son, Hei's a good for nothing. But if ID had a daughter, even if she wasn't pretty, ID spend millions to poach him. Well, you missed your chance. Yin Tianqi held his head high. My daughter is and there are no ifs. Damn you, Old Wang snapped. Soon, they began offloading their assets. Even triggering to market shocks, Yin Tianqi dumped nearly 300 in futures. The market went into a tailspin. PLIS. It plummeted. Retail investors panicked. Some started selling off immediately. Yin Tianqi dumped 30 billion in futures. The market went into a tailspin. It plummeted. Retail investors panicked. Some started selling off immediately. In the end, even other firms were furious. They were invested in those futures. They couldn't just watch it crash. They had to buy to stabilize it. Normally, for big firms, that's just business as usual. But this time it was forced. They had no idea what happened. As they bought, they worried. Are we out of the loop? Did others have insider info? Is that why they sold? Should we buy? Is it worth it? While buying, they were frantically making calls and cursing up a storm. They finally figured it out. It was that bastard Yin Tianqi silently dumping everything and then realizing, damn, it was him. He needed cash for investments. Damn him for dragging us into this. They bombarded his phone, ready to curse him out. Knowing he was in the wrong, Yin Tianqi just laughed it off. When asked about his investment, he kept his mouth shut. You're interested. I should bring you along. Competitors are enemies. I help you make money. Dream on. Old Wang had a quieter approach, but his properties and plazas were in high demand. Once developers heard of the sale, they scrambled to buy them up. He raised cash quite quickly. Meanwhile, Secretary Zhang rushed to the authorities to apply for energy licenses. As the CEO's top secretary, plus IS, plus Future Tech had perks. Priority policies, so it was smooth sailing at first. Everything went fast, but as he finished the forms, the clerk took them smiling. Future Tech had perks, priority policies. So it was smooth sailing at first. Everything went fast. But as he finished the forms, the clerk took them smiling. About to stamp and file them, he froze in shock. No way. Nuclear development and sales. There's no precedent for this. While they encourage private capital to invest in nuclear energy, that doesn't mean letting you run it. The clerk looked at Zhang, stunned. I can't stamp this. He gave a bitter laugh, truly terrified. This stamp can't go down. If I stamp this and anything goes wrong, I'm done for. I don't have the authority. Zhang wasn't surprised. No worries, he smiled. Could you call your superior? Sure. The clerk exhaled in relief. Contacting the boss is fine. Let him deal with this mess. A moment later, the boss arrived. A few minutes later, the boss was stunned. His mind was reeling. Secretary Zhang, wait here. I'll call my superior. Superior? Then even higher. Half an hour later, 7 or 8 officials were there, all high. The atmosphere was intense. The clerk was pushed to a corner. Trembling in fear, even the director had arrived. But even he was shivering, breaking out in cold sweat. It was June, but the AC was freezing. Normally, without exercise, they shouldn't be sweating, but everyone was drenched, wiping their brows frantically. This is insane. Director Chen wiped his forehead. Normally, if someone else brought me these forms to stamp, I'd throw them out. Actually, if it were someone else, my staff wouldn't dare call me. Director Chen wiped his forehead. Normally, if someone else brought me these forms to stamp, I'd throw them out. Actually, if it were someone else, my staff wouldn't dare call me. They'd be the ones in trouble. But there's no what if. Future Tech is a star company, right here in our city. With billions in revenue now, its future is bright. If they went public, it'd be worth trillions. Plus, there are policies. The orders from above are follow the law and rules and give them the green light. But who dares turn this light on? I certainly don't. Whoever wants to can do it. Chen took a deep breath. Secretary Zhang said helplessly, logically, for Future Tech to form a subsidiary, we should support it unconditionally. After all, it's an investment it brings jobs and attracts top talent. But the permits and licenses required, I honestly don't have the authority. Perhaps you should try someone higher up. Secretary Zhang had already anticipated this. They wouldn't dare not approve it, so he smiled. No rush. Comrades, why not hear me out? Do you know the initial investment for future energy? Chen Wenbin was stunned. His heart began to race. How much? The first phase is $1 trillion. Secretary Zhang said calmly and coolly. 100 billion investment only buys a 10 Fontaram stake. That makes it $1 trillion. Gasp. Hearing this, Chen Wenbin trembled. Anger welled up from within, followed by a surge of daring. This was indeed a hot potato, an extremely hot one at that. But what if it actually succeeds? Just looking at that, $1 trillion investment in Shenzhen. What an incredible achievement. He thought his promotion prospects were dim. But with this accomplishment on his record, maybe it's not impossible. Screw it, I'll just stamp it. What an incredible achievement. He thought his promotion prospects were dim. But with this accomplishment on his record, maybe it's not impossible. Screw it, I'll just stamp it. I can't do it directly, but I can certainly try. Secretary Zhang, I have an idea. Chen Wenbin changed his tone. I'll help you apply for approval. That would be trouble. Secretary Zhang stood up with a smile. Oh, by the way, comrade, our CEO Lu mentioned, this isn't just for Future Tech. Besides that, several domestic capital firms will join. At the same time, the military will be one of our stakeholders. When Chen Wenbin heard this, his eyes lit up instantly. The military is joining too. That changes everything. At this very moment, he just wanted to ask, why didn't you say so earlier? Why didn't you tell me sooner? I will do my absolute best. He was ready to stake his reputation on it. After Secretary Zhang left, Chen Wenbin immediately took the documents and headed personally to the capital. Meanwhile, Secretary Zhang went to Naval HQ to see Luo Wen, but he was blocked at the entrance. He was informed that Luo Wen and Wu Kui were on a top-secret mission. No visitors. Secretary Zhang frowned slightly. Please am with Future Tech. CEO Lu Chuan sent me to discuss a very urgent matter. Of course, if it's a classified mission, I shouldn't intrude. Just hope you can, when the time is right. Help me pass on a message. Wait for Future Tech. The two guards were slightly startled. Did Lu Chuan, did President Lu send you? It's you. Wait here. He'll report it immediately. One of them ran off after saying that. Don't you have communication devices? No need. Secretary what's going on? Isn't this a top secret mission? Seeing his confusion, the remaining guard smiled. You aren't aware. The leaders ordered that during the mission. No one is to be seen. Nothing else matters. But anything involving President Lu is the exception. Secretary Zhang suddenly realized, but he was inwardly shocked. Could their top secret mission be, during the mission, no one is to be seen. Nothing else matters. But anything involving President Lu is the exception. Secretary Zhang suddenly realized, but he was inwardly shocked. Could their top secret mission be? Before the college entrance exam questions were set, Luo Wen had come to see President Lu. The notice was sent out quickly. Looking for me. Luo Wen adjusted his glasses. Looking at Wu Kui, the latter didn't hesitate at all. Standing up immediately, you guys keep watch here. He'll go personally. The conference room was already packed. Experts in nuclear physics and materials from various domestic units had all arrived. They were frantically verifying and nearly coming to blows. Arguments were endless. Wu Kui gathered his team, picked up Secretary Zhang, and headed straight for Future Tech. The two parties met in Lu Chuan's office. "Little Lu, we meet again," Wu Kui said with a smile. Seeing Lu Chuan again, his expression was quite complex. It was completely different from their first meeting. Back then, he knew Lu Chuan was a talent and was very hopeful that Lu Chuan would achieve great things. But he never imagined that in less than a year, to be precise. In just over half a year, Lu Chuan would reach this point. It was inconceivable, yet worthy of high praise. "I was planning to visit you, but I didn't expect you to come in person, Elder Wu," Lu Chuan replied with a smile. However, that the elder came himself was not a surprise to him. After all, the Navy issued the test questions, so they would naturally be the first to follow up on the results. Clearly, the Navy had spotted something. That was only natural. They had so many experts. After all, of course I had to come myself. As he spoke, he personally took out an arsenal license and handed it to Lu Chuan. Lu Chuan was thrilled, then grew curious. "Thank you, Elder Wu. Has it been verified yet?" "It is currently being verified, but the experts all agree that even if it's not a direct success, it could save us at least 30 years. It is currently being verified, but the experts all agree that even if it's not a direct success, it could save us at least 30 years, saving us decades of trial and error. So, you've earned this license. It's what we agreed on, isn't it?" Lu Chuan nodded, accepting it. Just as he set the license down to discuss business, Elder Wu's phone suddenly rang. "What? The verification succeeded? It's feasible. What's the issue?" "The issue? Element Chuan." Moments later, he hung up. He looked at Lu Chuan in surprise. The latter replied with a smile. "That's exactly what I was about to discuss. I must say, the experts are very fast." Wu Kui gave Lu Chuan a deep look. He smiled. "I'm all ears." On the phone just now, Luo Wen had been very clear. After the experts' initial disbelief, rigorous calculations, and final debates, they reached a unified conclusion. That is Lu Chuan's answer is feasible. At least, regarding Lu Chuan's fusion plan, they couldn't find a single flaw, but this all rests on one premise, that the required element, Chuan, actually exists and works as described. One could say element Chuan is the very foundation of Lu Chuan's fusion scheme. Without element Chuan, nothing holds up. But if it is real, they could start experiments immediately, or even begin construction. As for potential minor issues, problems are meant to be solved. No storm, no rainbow. Theories on paper are worth nothing without action. They must experiment. But does element Chuan truly exist? Among currently known elements, there is no element Chuan, and its properties are quite shocking. Luo Wen also emphasized. Among currently known elements, there is no element Chuan, and its properties are quite shocking. Luo Wen also emphasized. One thing the experts said, even if this is a scam, it's an incredibly profound one. We'd gladly step into it and be fooled completely. The meaning was crystal clear. Element Chuan Lu. Chuan smiled. Is indeed the key to fusion? What exactly is this element? An element unknown to mankind? Why have I never heard of it? Wu Kui wasn't an expert, but in his position, he had some basic knowledge. Chuan as a name exists, but as an element, it doesn't. It's not an unknown element, but one that doesn't exist yet, so it's normal you haven't heard of it. Wu Kui realized, but didn't rush to ask more. He stayed very composed. Lu Chuan thought to himself, it's a good thing the old man isn't a technical expert. Otherwise, hearing this, he'd probably scold me, senseless. But it will exist soon, he added, because Future Tech will found a subsidiary and it'll synthesize element Chuan first. Synthesize a brand new element. Molan didn't have Marvel movies. They had foreign superheroes, but not Iron Man or others familiar to Earth. So Wu Kui looked shocked and, as expected expression, but he didn't associate it with Iron Man at all. Though he lacked technical knowledge, he knew how crazy this was and the benefits if it succeeded. Then what are we waiting for? It's not that I want to wait. Conditions aren't met yet, Lu Chuan shrugged. First, the licensing issue. As you know, Elder Wu, our country is currently wary of private nuclear firms. Lu Chuan shrugged. First, the licensing issue. As you know, Elder Wu, our country is currently wary of private nuclear firms. It's still a bit of a taboo. We've applied, but the success rate is uncertain. Second, we need to procure relevant equipment and materials. Hearing this, Elder Wu, understood? Oh, is that all? He'll handle this for you. As long as you're telling the truth, you'll have no worries at all. On the contrary, the entire nation will stand right behind you. While you blaze the trail, well, shield you from the storm and help you grow. With your word, Elder Wu, I'm relieved. Lu Chuan smiled. Author's note, he'll keep this brief. Skipping the bureaucracy or the censorship will never end. Don't expect too many details on government-related plots or the logic. Good, you know. Elder Wu, would the Navy invest in future energy? Wu Kui was blunt. To be honest, I was going to ask. We support you, but we must be in. Join us. Lu Chuan nodded, but no control. No voting rights. You can observe, take dividends, get internal prices, and buy our energy, but I keep the tech. I have final say. No deal otherwise. Simple as that. Gentle when needed, tough when required. Lu wasn't weak. He wasn't afraid. He fought for himself. It's more than profit. He trusts the state, but needs a backup. The Element Chuan formula. Hell, never leak it. Will they force him? He needs a backup. The Element Chuan formula. Hell, never leak it. Will they force him? They aren't that stupid. To kill the golden goose. Hayes only 21, yet mastered fusion. That technology, with more time, where could he go? It's unimaginable. To cross him now, only a fool would. Only a total idiot. A sane person would stay friendly. Collaborate closely, not make an enemy. His terms aren't bad. I agree in principle. But I'm not the state. You understand? Wu Kui hesitated. I'll report this now. I'll fight for it. It should be fine. I'll scold them all. If I have to. Wu rolled his sleeves. Thank you, Elder Wu. Lu Chuan smiled. Terms, 200 billion. 420 fun teram. Wu nodded. 200 billion for 20 fun teram? Seems like a little, but look at the tech. I'll await good news. I'll arrange it now. Wu Kui stood to leave. In his car, he started calls. First, to the top of the industry department. At that moment, he was scolding Chen. Screaming at him, military involvement. I wasn't notified. How would I not know? Wait, a call? I'll scold you later. Chen cowered in fear. Hello, Elder Wu. What? Yes, no problem here. I'll handle anyone. He hung up, stunned. Yes, no problem here. I'll handle anyone. He hung up, stunned. His old leader did a total 180. Young Chen, I've seen your work. I admit, I was a bit loud, but, it was just business. For your own good. But now things changed. It's a go. Chen Wenbin. Yes, you're right. He agreed. It's fine. What else could he do? Explode at his boss? Scold him back. It's a go. Chen was thrilled. $1 trillion project. Once it starts and shows results, it's a massive merit. Yes, who called just now? The military? They support future tech. Makes sense? On his way back, Chen thought it over. Just that new material from future tech is insane. Truly all for sea, sky, cannons, or jet blades. Military ties fit. Is this their project? Likely to succeed. He got excited. Taking off. Wu reached Navy HQ without a word. He flew to the capital. Using his status, he called a top meeting, proposed the energy deal, and the expert data. A fierce debate broke. Some supported, some opposed. It was chaos. Like a loud market, a fierce debate broke. Some supported, some opposed. It was chaos. Like a loud market? In such a high circle, it was rare. The military was united. Fusion was in sight. Testing would start soon. They were all in, full support, but the officials had many views. Many opposed it. It became a shouting match. A soldier, not a talker. But this is a must. A civil official. But no comment. Forget roles. My opinion is, it's a waste of money. It's beyond. Our current era, tech limits mean it'll likely fail. Why then? Waste so much? You really believe the kid made this tech? Before Gong won, who believed him? That new material upgraded everything. That's different. Like hell it is. You know nothing. Nothing at all. The military just begs for money every year. Know how hard it is? A failing project. 200 billion for 20 fun teram. Go rob a bank. You know nothing. Dignity is on the sword. Truth's in cannon range. Easy for you to say. Where's the money? Giving up your budget? The fight intensified. Spit was flying. They nearly threw fists. Wu couldn't take it. He slammed the table. Spit flying everywhere. Is it just money? Fine. They nearly threw fists. Wu couldn't take it. He slammed the table. Spit flying everywhere. Is it just money? Fine. The Navy will pay. Give our usual budget. Well, spend it our way. But then, the shares belong only to the Navy. When dividends come, don't ask for a cent. Don't be rash. Neutral ones cut in. Oldwu.com, down. Let's discuss more. Think it over. Discuss what? Wu slammed the table. Nothing to discuss. I've decided talking is a waste. It's settled. Opponents frowned. This isn't right. Wasting the budget. 200 billion. Afraid to invest? Want high tech for free? You're worse than me. That's final. Others tried to help, to share the cost, but Wu angrily refused. The Navy plays alone. He stormed out. The meeting collapsed. On the plane back, Rowan was worried. Is this okay, sir? What if they... What? If. They just want pay. Wu Kui sneered. I just told them my plan. Now, no matter the result, they were notified. No one can blame me. Think I wanted their money? Truth is, I have faith in this. Once it works, no more budget worries. Now we beg for money. After this, they'll beg to give it. It depends on my mood. Rowan adjusted his glasses. He stayed silent. They'll beg to give it. It depends on my mood. Rowan adjusted his glasses. He stayed silent. True enough, but if it fails, not even you can take the blame. Seeing was confidence. He didn't spoil it. He just worried in secret. Next morning, at the office, Wu arrived with contracts. He looked radiant, glowing with joy. At 70 plus, he was energetic. Looked 15 years younger. Done. Contracts here. Official seals and all. No problem. Great. Luchuan was happy. No problem. Maybe for now, but later, who knows? Especially if Wascon. No telling what monsters will crawl out, so I must keep some cards in reserve. And these cards aren't just secret formulas and elements. It's the power to turn the tide in a crisis. At least for some, and to keep my loved ones safe. He already has a plan for this. Once fusion technology is ready, work can finally begin. There's still time. At least based on Wu Kui's health, it should be fine. As long as there are no surprises, let's sign the contract. Wu Kui is even more eager than Luchuan. He has every reason to be. The Navy has been suppressed for too long. Though, for now, the large vessels are nearing launch. It's still not enough. Without a carrier, there's no say. Without nuclear power, we lack the edge. But with a fusion-powered carrier, who would dare talk back to me? Without nuclear power, we lack the edge. But with a fusion-powered carrier, who would dare talk back to me? Who'd dare challenge our Navy then? We won't go looking for trouble, but we must be ready for provocations. No matter who the enemy is, we must be able to strike like thunder and force them into total submission. No rush. It's a four-way partnership. They should be here soon. Luchuan tells him to stay calm. Your father-in-law and who else? A Fu and Zhao Ya. Wu Kui realizes young Wang is a decent man. With his military background and his wife's connections, I have no problem with him. Well, sign once they arrive. Luchuan raises an eyebrow. Seems old Wang has quite a background. It makes sense though. Without such a background, after Gonggong, no one's South release, things wouldn't have been this peaceful. After all, those eyeing the technology aren't just foreign interests, and often, insiders are the hardest to deal with. Yet, I haven't faced any of that. Clearly, old Wang carries a lot of weight. As for my well, he has no real backing. Hayes, a self-made man. He might block some minor trouble, but certainly not much. But this time is different. With the Navy backing us, there shouldn't be any major issues. 10 minutes later, Yin, Tianqi, and old Wang arrive. They arrive with great anticipation. Old Wang wanted to know what the project was exactly. But seeing Wu Kui there, he was completely shocked. When he heard the Navy's 200 billion investment for a 20-fund Tarim stake, he was utterly speechless. Why even ask? Why bother? Just sign and transfer the money. But after signing the contract, once Luchuan revealed the project, they were stunned. Controllable nuclear fusion. Can I still back out now? Just sign and transfer the money. But after signing the contract, once Luchuan revealed the project, they were stunned. Controllable nuclear fusion. Can I still back out now? Just a joke, of course. Though shocked, with Wu Kui and the Navy on board, old Wang felt a glimmer of hope. Luchuan then produced a procurement list. For old Wang and Eagle Angel, Uncle Eagle, Uncle Wang, we're all on the same side. Future Tech has offended every foreign firm. If we import under Future Energy, they'll definitely make things difficult. It's too much trouble. We don't have the time, nor the patience to argue. So, I want you both to use Wafu and Eagle Angel's names to purchase these materials. Future Energy will then buy them at cost. Next, the quantum colliders. We need 10 of the latest models. We must act fast. And before they deliver, not a word must leak out. Foreign firms cannot know. These are for Future Energy. Both nodded. No problem. It's easy. As long as there's no ban, it won't affect us for now. As for later, old Wang sighed. What you did before really spoke to my heart. But you've offended every foreign firm, and nearly every other country. Once they get serious, Future Tech will struggle to survive. That day was bound to come. Luchuan was already prepared. He smiled. But if we're strong enough, all problems will be solved. I believe their goods won't be essential for long. In 3 to 5 years, they'll be begging us to take their top-tier tech, and we might just refuse. Because it won't be good enough? Well said. Wu Kui slapped the table. I love your arrogance, kid. Youth is the time to be bold. Stay wild. Let them know they're beneath us. Well said. Wu Kui slapped the table. I love your arrogance, kid. Youth is the time to be bold. Stay wild. Let them know they're beneath us. The contracts are signed. The funds will arrive in stages. Now, one more thing. Must make arrangements soon. Once this goes public, it will be too late. He signaled to Luchuan, his expression turning grave. Wu Kui watched Luchuan stroke his chin, still lost in thought. Wu Kui shook his head and sighed. Your security is our top priority. Understand, otherwise, once the fusion tech is ready, it won't stay a secret. We might hide the tech, But we can't hide all the news. Once word gets out, you'll be a prime target. Every nation, every power will want you. If they can't have you, they'll destroy you. Yin Tianqi chimed in, his face turning pale. Had been too stunned before, and hadn't considered this. True, Lao Wang nodded firmly. The reality of the shadows is far more terrifying than you think. Even novels barely scratch the surface. It's not just the hostile nations, even neutral states and resourceric powers won't sit idly by, because fusion energy will plunge them from heaven to hell. No, there isn't a single country that won't covet this technology. At the same time, major powers won't let us rise, and you will become a thorn in all their sides. If they can abduct you, great. If they can't, then Lao Wang made a throat-slitting gesture. Your safety must be guaranteed. Exactly, Wu Kui added, and at the highest level, we're sending 2 squads, working to 4-hour shifts. For your personal protection, we'll also deploy a full battalion. To secure the surrounding area, 2 squads will be deployed. On to 4-hour rotation, to guard you personally, plus a battalion nearby. For a defensive perimeter, of course they'll stay hidden. You won't even notice them. Lu Chuan was startled. That extreme. This security level is a bit. 24-hour protection is overkill, right? Lu Chuan scratched his head. I don't need 2 4-hour guards. It's not convenient. I understand. Wu Kui sipped his tea calmly, as if everything were settled. But don't worry. Women hold up half the sky. We have female soldiers. Lu Chuan, you misunderstood me. Fine, but sigh. Guess I can't refuse, can I? Also, from now on, you're on our naval expert team. With the battalion commander rank, once the fusion project succeeds, you'll have a high-ranking status, Wu Kui continued, and not just you. After setting the plan for Lu Chuan, giving him no room to argue, he added, your parents need protection too, including your future Yin Tianqi. Though people might target me, I have my own bodyguards. Just being careful is enough. Besides, once it goes public, we only have investment rights, nothing more, right? So why? Wu Kui wouldn't budge. They can still kidnap you. First, we'll assign you 2 security squads. Second, move into the compound. Everything is there, and it's much safer. My advice is, move in. It's far safer. Not me, Yin Tianqi insisted. Woo, sir, just assign me some guards. I have thousands of employees to look after. It's much safer. I won't go. Yin Tianqi stated. Please, Wu, sir, just send me some guards. I have thousands of staff to support. Moving into the compound? Sure, it has everything, but it's not practical. Fair enough. What about your parents? I'll ask them later. Lu Chuan didn't decide for them. This affects their whole lives. They must decide themselves. Lu Chuan didn't resist the idea. Security is of utmost importance. If he had the power to protect himself and those around him, he wouldn't care. But for now, he needed their help, in case some powers get desperate and decide to take risks. One must be prepared. Fine. Let me know when you decide. As for the guards, they'll arrive within 2 days. Alright, head back. Take care, Wu. Shortly after Wu Kui left, Lao Wang and Yin Tianqi followed. Lu Chuan called his father. They were out playing mahjong. They lived a simple life, never having enjoyed much. Now that his son is a billionaire, they didn't insist on working, but slowly embraced a wealthy life. Taking it easy, playing mahjong, and enjoying good food became their daily routine, though the stakes were low, only 3 or 5 yuan bets. He never takes risks. After Lu Chuan explained the situation, the 2 elders were a bit worried. After careful consideration, they decided to move into the compound. Inside the compound, unless a major power truly loses its mind and spares no cost to target them, nothing is likely to happen. With that settled, Lu Chuan was finally at ease. He began work on future energy. Meanwhile, when Wu Kui rushed back to the top secret conference room at Naval HQ, he found the experts arguing again. It was chaotic. He couldn't tell what they were fighting about. Meanwhile, when Wu Kui rushed back to the top secret conference room at Naval HQ, he found the experts arguing again. It was chaotic. He couldn't tell what they were fighting about. He quickly broke the news that the deal was done, and the Chuan element was within reach. The experts were thrilled. They were overjoyed. Chuan element. Lu Chuan. Named after himself, I assume? That's truly impressive. The new generation surpasses the old. US old-timers will be left in the dust soon enough. You said it. We don't know for sure yet if the Chuan element can actually be synthesized, but if it can, based on our current theories, his controllable fusion tech might actually be viable, even without the Chuan element. These documents offer immense insights. They save us years of trial and error. It's hard to imagine how a 1-year-old who never went to college could be this brilliant. Has he been evolving in secret, leaving the rest of us behind? This is getting absurd. Wu Kui's mouth twitched. He also thought Lu Chuan was a freak. But evolving in secret? That was going too far. He pondered and raised a question. Experts, I have a question. If the Chuan element is synthesized and matches the properties described, then the fusion technology, what I mean is, how long to build and utilize a reactor? Once successful, will the energy problem for our nuke be solved for good? The room went silent. Many faces stiffened. Some twitched, others just rolled their eyes. General Wu, are you serious? You're a superior officer. But I have to ask, do you understand fusion at all? If it succeeds, once the energy problem is solved, forget running in the ocean. You could make it fly. Fly for 3 to 5 years without worrying about energy or needing a recharge. Are you kidding me? Forget running in the ocean. You could make it fly. Fly for 3 to 5 years without worrying about energy or needing a recharge. Are you kidding me? Once controllable fusion is achieved, unless tech advances by eras and some special equipment, becomes an energy-guzzling monster, otherwise, we will never worry about energy again. They kept teasing, Wu, he usually wasn't this dense. He dared to bet 200 billion in funding, so he had to know the importance of fusion. That money was for carriers. He gambled it, only to tell them he had no clear concept of fusion. Unintentional words left a mark on the listeners. Despite the teasing, Wu Kui wasn't offended at all. In fact, he was delighted, extremely excited. Hearing how powerful fusion was made him happy. Suddenly, he had an idea. If you say, we could make a carrier fly without worrying about energy. Yes, the experts replied. Isn't that obvious? Don't take fusion as a joke. Wu Kui asked, is it possible? I'm just saying, possible. We skipped the previous carrier plan. To reach the ultimate goal, the experts were stunned. Are you serious? That's not just a goal. That's jumping the gun entirely. But, don't dismiss it. I'm actually getting excited. It might actually be feasible. The biggest hurdle is energy. Once energy is solved, and fusion is essentially clean energy, even if the thrusters aren't perfect. With low conversion rates, we have a near infinite supply. So that's not a problem anymore. But there's still the issue of thruster materials. Materials aren't a problem. The one Lu Chuan developed, that new material is insane. So that's not a problem anymore. But there's still the issue of thruster materials. Materials aren't a problem. The one Lu Chuan developed, that new material is insane. I bet even for flight, with that material's strength, flying for 35 months is a breeze, and it's cheap. If we build replacing parts every few months, that's acceptable, right? Talking about it, the experts got fired up. Damn, it seems quite feasible. Seriously, don't rule it out. The experts grew more excited. Even the lead design expert grabbed the drafting paper and started a new design. Whether it works or not, might as well stay busy. Waiting is torture. Better to just start. What if it works? They got to work. Lu Chuan wasn't idle either. The next day, 2 security details reported in, 6 members per squad, all young female soldiers, professional and sharp, not pageant beauties, but certainly attractive. With a touch of makeup, they were a solid 8 out of 10, heroic and capable, with a very distinct air, full of vigor. Chief, we are here to report. They saluted Lu Chuan. The timing was uniform. Lu Chuan scratched his head. I'm not a chief? Report. We are ordered to protect the chief. You are the target. So you are the chief? Fine. What are your names? Squad 1 leader, Long Sai. Squad 2 leader, Ma Zhaoling. After brief introductions, Lu Chuan mused. From now on, wear civilian clothes. Uniforms are too conspicuous. Yes, chief. Secondly, don't call me chief. I'm not used to it. Call me Director Lu. Your public cover is my personal assistant. Yes, Dyer, Director Lu. From that moment on, 6 people were always around Lu Chuan and Ying Ruchu. Your public cover is my personal assistant. Yes, Dyer, Director Lu. From that moment on, 6 people were always around Lu Chuan and Ying Ruchu. 2 squads rotated for protection. It was truly meticulous. Everywhere he went, they followed, driving while maintaining security. Even when he went to the restroom, 2 of them waited outside. 2 guards stood at his door while he slept, while 2 more rested in side rooms, waiting for their shift, rotating daily. It felt awkward for Lu Chuan. He felt very safe, and these iron roses were lovely to behold. But knowing people were outside, he had to control himself. Still, after a while, he gradually got used to it. Over the next 7 days, just 7 days, the materials for the Chuan element arrived. In this world, most things can be solved with money. If it can be solved by throwing money at it, it's not a real problem. Labs taking too long to build. Buy one outright. Equipment needs to be imported. Just pay the premium. Not enough new ones. Buy used. If I offer 20 fun terum more than the new price, would you sell? No. Then I'll find another. If they don't sell, pay more. As long as it's not ridiculous, just buy it. In Future Energy's lab, 10 quantum colliders were circled up. The doors were locked. Secretary Zhang and the security stood guard. Inside the vast lab, only Lu Chuan and Ying Ruchu remained. Why don't you wait outside? Lu Chuan looked at Ying Ruchu. He'll be busy for a while, and it could be dangerous. No, I'm staying with you. Ying Ruchu shook her head with a smile. Don't worry, I won't disturb you. When you're tired, I can massage your shoulders, and it could be dangerous. No, I'm staying with you. Ying Ruchu shook her head with a smile. Don't worry, I won't disturb you. When you're tired, I can massage your shoulders, rub your feet, wipe your sweat. Isn't that right? As for danger, I'm not afraid. Where you are, I am. Lu Chuan smiled fondly, held her in his arms, and kissed her deeply. You'd better be prepared. I might neglect you for a while, because the task ahead requires my absolute focus. Not a single mistake is allowed. I don't mind just watching you is enough for me. Haven't you heard? A man is most attractive when he's focused. Then Lu Chuan had a quick meal. Half an hour later, the work began. First, connect the 10 colliders. To synchronize their movement, Lu Chuan began operating, dismantling what needed to be taken apart, modifying and connecting the parts. Following the steps, with his current knowledge, there was a more advanced way and technique to build them. If he did that, one collider would suffice, but that's slow and troublesome. Too many hurdles to clear, and work to be done. If he did it all himself, it would take twice as long. Beyond that, this was the current way. Taking the 10, the most advanced quantum colliders on Molan, once activated and connected, can reach the threshold for transelement synthesis. Day and night blurred together in the frenzy. Lu Chuan worked tirelessly. Usually, he was all smiles and jokes, leading a very leisurely life. He loved hanging out with Yin Ruchu or playing some fun games. Yin Ruchu indulged his pampering. She let him try whatever he wanted. But now, when focus and effort were required, Lu Chuan didn't hesitate at all. He worked until day and night were one, losing all track of time. But now, when focus and effort were required, Lu Chuan didn't hesitate at all. He worked until day and night were one, losing all track of time. On the other side, the education department was at a loss. The education department was scrambling. The leaders gathered together, staring at each other, in a long, heavy silence. What now? Say something. The head official rolled his eyes. I called you here for a solution, not to just sit there. How on earth do we grade Lu Chuan's score? The education officials bowed their heads, keeping a stoic, silent front. Don't ask us. Who are we supposed to ask? This is a real headache, and there has never been a precedent like this before. Who knows what to do? Who else could get full marks repeatedly? Only Lu Chuan, especially with the Gong 1's existence. Almost the entire nation is watching him. Everyone is guessing his score this time. Though current rumors suggest 99 funtarum of people think, hell, gets 748. But the attention remains sky high, especially with scores out in 2 days. Under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be an issue. The score is what it is. Even if last year's situation repeated, fine. But the problem is, the scores we have now are just wrong. Out of 300 for comprehensive science, Lu Chuan currently has 0. It's not that he got questions wrong, but we don't even have his answer sheet. What do? We can't just give him a 0. With Lu Chuan's personality, head blow a fuse. We're not afraid of him, but if he makes a scene, it'll ruin our department's reputation. If it's not a full score, that's not right either. This is too absurd. How is this possible? Without even seeing the sheet, we just give him full marks. Isn't that just total nonsense? How about 298? Someone suggested after a moment, but after thinking it over, give him full marks. Isn't that just total nonsense? How about 298? Someone suggested after a moment, but after thinking it over, the official felt it wasn't right. Based on Lu Chuan's past level and his other 3 subjects, 298 should be fine. But for the Gaokao, we can't just rely on should be to determine someone's score, especially with the whole nation watching. What if Lu Chuan insists on full marks? What if he demands we show the sheet? What if everyone wants to grade it? That won't work either. Then what do you suggest? This is a massive headache. But the head official had an idea. 2 of you go to the Navy, get the answer sheet back. If you can't bring it back, verify the answers on site. If all else fails, ask them what score to give. That actually is a way. But who will go? Not me, anyway. Everyone looked down. Unfortunately, there are always 2 unlucky ones. A man and a woman, Zhou Shenyan and Lei Jun, both in their 50s, yet they became the scapegoats. They rushed to Shenzhen overnight. Standing outside the Navy HQ gates, both of them were trembling. Old Lei, you go talk to them. Why not you? Ladies first. Soon the news reached the meeting room. Wu Kui heard it and looked at the expert's education department. Wants the answer sheet back? The room erupted instantly. No, that's impossible. Are they joking? Do they know the security level of this? It's not just confidential. It's top secret. They absolutely cannot take it. But we can't give Lu Chuan a 0. Wu Kui sighed. How about this? Aren't you all experts? Surely you can solve Gaokao questions. I'll have them send a copy of the exam. You grade the answers, then send the score to them. The experts agreed. So, world-class experts began the I'll have them send a copy of the exam. You grade the answers, then send the score to them. The experts agreed. So, world-class experts began the Goko. They all found it quite novel. I'm actually getting an itch for this. Maybe I should take the Goko next year. Why? To get crushed by Lu Chuan. It's done. Excluding the bonus questions, it's 298. But for the physics bonus, we agree it deserves full marks. So, it's 299. 299. Wu Kui nodded slightly. For the biology bonus? I talked to my wife. She said the answer was perfect. Luo Wen. Go give them. The reply from the military, Lu Chuan gets full marks in science. Full marks. Full marks. After Zhou Xianyan got the answer, her head was spinning. Wait, full marks? Full marks, even on the way back. The two hadn't quite processed it. Is that possible? Did I hear wrong? Unless we both misheard. They definitely said full marks. But those two bonus questions? When they relayed the reply, the leaders were shaking. Their scalps felt numb. They really said that. Are you sure you didn't mishear? If we didn't, then it's bizarre. How could he get full marks on those? What's the reason behind this? After some commotion, the head official suppressed his shock. They want to give us the sheet. They won't even let us look at it. They said it's top secret. Zhou Xianyan smiled bitterly. We didn't see the sheet at all. They asked us for a digital copy of the exam. Then their internal expert solved it, compared it with his sheet, and finally gave the full score. The official was speechless. He was completely dumbfounded. How do I explain this to the public? Another round of noise. Everyone looked at him. The official was speechless. He was completely dumbfounded. How do I explain this to the public? Another round of noise. Everyone looked at him. Chief, what should we do? Yes, Chief. The situation is a bit, what's your plan? Just give the order, Chief. Well, do whatever you say. Damn. The official wanted to curse. You're all old foxes. Why play these games with me? You guys are all sharp as tacks. Do you think I'm stupid? How can I decide now? If I tell you what to do, and something goes wrong, you'll be the one taking the blame. Do I look like a fool? I called everyone here to discuss this together. Don't tell me whatever I say goes. That's not how we do things. Let's decide this together. But my opinion is, best follow the military's full score. Time passed. The day to check Gaokao's scores finally arrived. Countless students, parents, and netizens were watching. Even many gamblers were tuned in. However, more than half of those gamblers wanted to cry. Some were even ready to jump. In the gambling groups, they were devastated. Scores are about to drop. I'm already on the 18th floor rooftop. The view is great, but the wind is cold. 18 floors isn't high enough. I'm on the 52nd. Are you guys serious? I'm on the 3rd floor. My house back home only has 3 floors. Damn. I bet 30 million on his full score. Then they gave such insane questions. I really want to wait 30 million yen, but a small group of gamblers was ecstatic. You're so naive. Is a full score that easy to get? Even if he got it 3 times and built the Gong Gong one, becoming a multi-billionaire, the authorities won't let him keep getting full scores. I warned you not to bet on full marks, but you didn't believe me? Exactly. You weren't thinking straight. The authorities won't let him keep getting full scores. I warned you not to bet on full marks, but you didn't believe me? Exactly. You weren't thinking straight. You have yourselves to blame? As they chatted, the time finally came. Netizens were also tracking the scores. Aside from students checking their own, everyone else went straight to the rankings. Then, holy crap, full marks? Are you serious? Am I possessed? I feel like I'm in a dream within a dream. He got it again. Honey. Slap me quick. I must be dreaming. Beyond the shock and disbelief, reason began to return. Full marks. Impossible. Any other year, I might believe it. But this year, no damn way. Do you know how hard cancer is? Do you know what new energy means? It's not just charging a battery. It means solving fission pollution, or even achieving controlled fusion. And someone got full marks on that. You think I'm that gullible? This score has 0 credibility. I might get a lawyer's letter for this, but I'll say it anyway. It's rigged. No one could get full marks this year. Nitrogen. 1. The matter escalated rapidly. Plenty were already watching. But now it was like a Category 5 hurricane. Sweeping across the entire internet, even offline, the news was explosive. Except for remote, unpopulated areas, everyone was talking about it. The controversy was unprecedented. The education department was under fire. Aside from where a few youths gather, almost everywhere is buzzing. Lu Chuan's perfect score is the hit. This is just insane. Aside from where a few youths gather, almost everywhere is buzzing. Lu Chuan's perfect score is the hit. This is just insane. Even more shocking than the exam, which featured cancer and fusion. Those questions were crazy enough. But damn, next to a perfect score, the questions mean squat. Full marks on cancer and fusion? You believe that? I don't. Hardly anyone believes it. Even Lu Chuan's few supporters are trembling right now, too afraid to speak. The learned find it most absurd. They simply won't believe it. It's just impossible. Claims of fraud and corruption erupted. Lu Chuan must be protected. They have no shame. Such rumors are spreading fast. Everyone has an opinion, but no one believes it's true. I smell a conspiracy. The ministry must be faking it.